who can pay a visit to Softball Sean and raise some dough at the same time. National news organizations leave the candidates lacking. My opinion? No. Sharon Angle's admission. At a house party this month, the Nevada Republican senatorial candidate was asked about her fundraising efforts. Ms. Angle explained that she needs a friendly press outlet where she can make a plea for donations. And while she lauded Rush Limbaugh's show for this purpose, her heart belongs to Foxy. The audio was provided to the Las Vegas Sun.
Here's the deal. When I get a friendly press outlet, not so much the guy that's interviewing me, it's their audience that I'm trying to reach. Bill O'Reilly, you have to watch out for that guy. He's not necessarily a friendly. It doesn't matter. His audience is friendly. And if I can get an opportunity to say that at least once on his show, when I said it on Sean Hannity's television show, we made $40,000 before we even got out of the studio in New York. It was just...
Is that from the staff? The other benefit of the go-to guy, Softball Sean, is getting that national audience while bypassing the national, news. As cataloged by Talking Points memo, Mama Grizzly was a founding member. As the vice presidential candidate, Sarah Palin appeared with Hannity right after her catastrophic interview with Charles Gibson on ABC. Other more recent instances, Kentucky Republican senatorial candidate Rand Paul, soon after he confessed his disdain for certain parts of the Civil Rights Act to my colleague Rachel, and Delaware Republican senatorial candidate Christine O'Donnell, who after spurning two national media outlets on the same day, went over to national cable and declared that she was done with the national media.
Governor Sarah Palin tweeted, and I thought she gave you some interesting advice, and I want to get your take on it. Christine O'Donnell's strategy, time's limited. Use it to connect with local voters whom you'll be serving versus appeasing national media seeking your destruction.
She's absolutely right. Governor Palin is right. That's a great piece of advice, and that's exactly what we're doing. I had some business in New York today, so thank you for having me on, but our focus is Delaware. I'm going immediately back to Delaware. We've got a packed schedule tomorrow and attending a ladies' luncheon. I'm not going to do any more national media because this is my focus. Delaware is my focus, and the local media is my focus.
Now, Sean, give me my damn $40,000. A Fox News source told Media Matters that O'Donnell had canceled an appearance on Fox News Sunday in the broadcast arm of that operation, but appeared on Hannity 2 days later for a reason. Quoting the unnamed source, she made a choice about interviews where she felt she would get a certain kind of treatment. Let's turn to the president of Media Matters for America, Eric Burns. Eric, good evening.
Thank you, Keith. How are you?
I'm well, sir. Let's start there. The admission from that source, as if we really needed one, that the Fox primetime on cable is the place to be for conflict-free national media exposure.
Well, no, look, absolutely. First of all, let me just point out, maybe it's probably a little shocking to the folks at Fox that Media Matters, yes, we do actually have a source inside Fox News that's giving us this information, and it's really, really groundbreaking because it's almost a tacit admission from Fox of what I think a lot of folks understand in the Republican Tea Party, and that is that when they're going on Fox, especially on Hannity's program, they're not going there for an interview, they're going there for an infomercial to help raise money. In that O'Donnell interview with Hannity last night, that was a 16-minute interview that would be worth close to $1 million in advertising expenditures, where she have to actually pay for it like other campaigns.
Then there is Sharon Angle, who's confessing how great it is to use certain Fox News shows as fundraising devices. Was she stating the obvious, or is there some value into that in that admission?
Well, I think she's stating the obvious for Republican Tea Party candidates, and that's why they're all going on Fox and they're not going elsewhere, because they know that they can go on, they can raise money. I mean, and she's established that quid pro quo very, very clearly in statements that she's made and in the clip that you showed before. And I think what's really dangerous about this, Keith, is that when you have, a supposed news network, which we know, of course, Fox is not, they're a political operation, providing this kind of support, fundraising, PR to an entire party of candidates. If the Tea Party Republicans win in November, we're going to have a Congress run by John Boehner, Glenn Beck, and Michelle Bachmann.
Well, there's one brain in there. I once said in an interview when I still worked there that ESPN was a monopoly, and as soon as it got printed, the ESPN people came to my desk and said, "Don't ever say anything like that again." But what they were saying was that the statement that I made had conceivably implications for laws, legal, government regulation. Could what Sharon Angle said have any kind of legal implications, or is that just for the benefit of those who are paying attention? There's nothing actionable about that, is there?
Well, at the federal level, it's a little more difficult, but the DGA has filed a complaint with the Ohio Elections Commission against about Governor Kasich's campaign against Fox, because they ran a chyron of his website on the air, which they're suggesting is an illegal corporate in-kind contribution to his campaign. And of course, that running a chyron of his website, that pales in comparison to the kind of activity that we see on Fox every day when it comes to these Republican Tea Party candidates. So I think
go ahead.
I think there is certainly a possibility for legal action in certain areas.
Some of the things that you were referring to, they execute GOP talking points. They edit sound bites of the president and other Democrats as if it were a Madison Avenue ad firm for the Republican Party, and now the fundraising stuff. Practically speaking, what needs to be done about Fox?
Well, I think first of all, the first thing, the mainstream media, the real media, journalists in this country have got to get serious about educating people on what Fox is and what it is not. It's not a news organization, it's a political operation. Media Matters has called for the White House Correspondents Association to remove Fox's first row seat in the White House briefing room. And former White House Correspondents Association Chairman Ed Chen called the move to give Fox that seat a travesty. And I think the second thing is advertisers on Fox need to understand that they are using their dollars to support the election and the electioneering of these candidates by Fox.